Good evening. You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. The Sarawak government is set to assess the type of assistance to be provided to flood victims in the region. And in world news, a medical jet with 6 Mexican nationals on board crashes into a busy Philadelphia neighborhood, the second U.S. aviation disaster this week. The Sarawak government will assess the type of assistance to be provided to flood victims in the region. Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Joritun Openg said that the State Disaster Management Committee Secretariat is currently evaluating the impact of the disaster. He also said that the Sarawak government would consider increasing the aid allocation if assessment indicates a need.
Apakah harus dilaksanakan, dan kita akan bincang dalam kabinet. Tapi 10 juta telah saya keluarkan, takut cukup. 10 juta kita akan tambah mengikut kehendak seluruh Sarawak.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari expressed his appreciation to all parties who swiftly assisted those affected by the recent floods. He commended the strong sense of unity among Sarawakians in looking out for those impacted by the disaster.
Saya ucap terima kasih kepada semua volunteers, sukarelawan di Bintulu, dan juga adun-adun Bintulu, wakil-wakil rakyat yang turun padam membantu masyarakat kita yang terjejak. Saya juga ucap terima kasih kepada Jenderal Kerajaan yang diketuai oleh Residen serta agensi-agensinya seperti polis, BOPA, Angkatan AM dan yang lain-lain yang telah bekerja tak kira masa kerana mempunyai satu semangat, one spirit to help people in need. Inilah budaya kita, dan saya yakin bahawa dengan adanya kerja-kerja oleh seluruh masyarakat Bintulu, we pray that hujan will stop and we go back as normal.
Speaking at a community gathering earlier today, he also welcomed more contributions from the private sector to assist affected residents.
Saya mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada pihak swasta macam SEDA yang akan menerima, SEDA Bintulu menerima 600,000 ringgit ke Bintulu, yang saya percaya akan membantu untuk tuan-tuan kuasa membantu keadaan yang telah terjejas.
The Sarawak government will continue to intensify efforts to monitor the disastrous flood situation in the region. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Ambas said as of today, 63 temporary evacuation centres were opened in 7 divisions, housing 12,692 victims from 3,696 households.
Inilah keadaan yang terkini. Kita telah dapat maklumat dari ground feel bahawa keadaan sekarang adalah semua dapat jalan dengan lancar. Setiap tempat pusat pembinaan sementara telah pun seperti hari ini kita mendapati dia ada kelengkapan semua. Ada mattress, dia punya selimut dan bantal dan makanan juga di semua sudah all. I think and including the medical department. Hari ini dia bagi tahu kita ada 2 orang tua ada sakit, so they are treating them.
According to UGA, the situation in remote Kampung Merakai in Sirian is under close monitoring, adding that the Welfare Department today delivered food supplies to the local residents there.
Kampung Merakai yang jauh dari sini, hari ini Jabatan Kebajikan akan mengantar makanan kepada mereka. Kita juga memantau kampung-kampung yang terputus, adalah tanggungjawab Jawatankuasa Bencana untuk menentukan makanan-makanan sampai kepada mereka.
Commenting on the latest situation, UGA said there are no new reports of villages affected by the flood in Sirian Division.
The financial losses of damage to infrastructure caused by the flood are now under assessment. Dato' Amar Douglas Ugambas said the government is now rigorously conducting calculations, but a ballpark estimate is yet to be determined.
We'll be collecting the data by tomorrow. We have directed all the residents to submit to us the damage, some other public facilities, ataupun private facilities, so that we can see the extent of the damage.
Commenting on damaged roads, the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee Chairman said the Public Works Department JKR is now hard at work repairing them.
Now JKR in full swing untuk membaiki jalan-jalan yang rosak dan runtuh. Di Sirian saya diberitahu oleh engineer tadi ada 20 tempat, ya, 20 location yang banjir, yang rosak. And kita arahkan JKR to repair so that it will disrupt the communication of the people.
He was met after visiting the Ranchan Temporary Evacuation Centre in Sirian earlier today. Also present during the visit were Bukit Semuja Assemblyman John Illus, Sarawak Police Commissioner Datuk Mancha Atta, and Sirian Division resident Caroline Kilfas Joseph. UGA also visited the Balairingin Temporary Evacuation Centre, accompanied by Balairingin Assemblyman Datuk Snowden Lawan.
Dato' Amar Douglas Ugambas also confirmed that the 1,000 ringgit assistance will only be given to flood victims who have been relocated to temporary evacuation centres. However, he said that if there are reasonable grounds for refusing to evacuate, the authorities will consider their application for the financial aid.
Kita kepada residen, pengurusan bencana di peringkat bahagian, supaya mereka ambil senarai ini dan mereka akan mengenal pasti mengapa dia tidak mahu pindah. Kalau alasan yang munasabah, kita boleh timbang. Tapi kita tidak boleh beritahu sekarang, kita akan bagi pampasan, otherwise nobody want to move. See, the problem is, if you don't move, anything happen, banjir air naik, dia, ini happen to him, kita yang kena.
He stressed that safety remains a top priority, which is why authorities are taking immediate action to deploy resources and aid to the evacuation centres. UGA, who is also the chairman for the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee, noted that the evacuation centre in some areas, such as Binzulu, are currently overcrowded, with nearly 2,000 residents already evacuated. Although some residents refuse to evacuate, authorities will continue to persuade them to ensure their safety.
Of course, they are worried about their property and so on. The Commissioner of Police here, Datuk Mancha, he has assured us that his men, together with ATM, will oversee all this area that was left out during the banjir, supaya tidak ada siapa-siapa nak ambil peluang kecurian dan sebagainya.
He also said that residents who refuse to move to evacuation centres can contact the Divisional Disaster Management Committee for registration and further deliberation by SDMC officers.
Welcome back. Several banks, including Public Bank, Hong Leong Bank, Standard Chartered Bank Malaysia, and OCBC Bank Malaysia, are offering assistance to customers affected by floods in Sabah and Sarawak. Public Bank, Public Islamic Bank, Hong Leong Bank, and Hong Leong Islamic Bank are also offering a deferment of monthly installments for loans and financing of up to 6 months, covering credit card facilities for affected individuals, as well as loan and financing for small and medium enterprises.
In a statement, Public Bank said it has swiftly collaborated with its subsidiary, Lonpak Insurance Berhad, to expedite claims processing for affected customers who have suffered losses covered by insurance policies underwritten by Lonpak. HLB and Hong Leong Islamic Bank are extending assistance to their existing SME and micro enterprise customers. Additional financing will be made available to those requiring working capital to facilitate business recovery from the floods. Meanwhile, Standard Chartered Malaysia is offering a temporary deferment or suspension of loan financing repayment obligations, both principal and interest/profit, for 3 or 6 months. However, interest profit will continue to accrue on the deferred payments and will be capitalized into the principal amount once the deferment period ends. The bank also stated that affected customers have the option to make interest-only monthly installments for 6 months. Additionally, Maybank is offering fee and charge waivers for selected services, along with support from its insurance divisions. All the banks have also confirmed that they are waiving fees for the replacement of flood damage or lost bank-related documents and cards.
A medical jet with 6 Mexican nationals on board crashed into a busy Philadelphia neighborhood at 6 p.m. local time on Friday. The crash marks another U.S. aviation disaster after a passenger plane and a military helicopter collided mid-air in Washington earlier this week.
Video footage appeared to show the twin-engine plane descending at a sharp angle towards a residential area, sparking a huge fireball upon impact and showering wreckage over homes and vehicles. The Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) said the aircraft was a Learjet 55, an American-French business jet that had taken off shortly before from Northeast Philadelphia Airport bound for Branson, Missouri. A young girl who had been in the United States for medical care, her mother and members of the flight and medical crews accompanying her on board were killed in the crash. Mexico's foreign ministry said all 6 of those on board were Mexican citizens. Dozens of emergency workers were on the scene outside Roosevelt Mall, a strip mall in Northeast Philadelphia with retailers and food outlets. The FAA said it was launching an investigation with the National Transportation Safety Board.
And those were the updates for this evening. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.